114 million views. 114 million. And it's still talked about over a decade later. Hell, I'm talking about it right now, obviously, right? Most people, though, including a lot of advertising professionals, think they know why it worked. They think it worked because it was emotional. Wrong. Try again. See, lots of ads are emotional, but most of them are forgotten by the next day. This one has over 100 million views, and people are still talking about it. They're still sharing it, and they're still crying while watching it. Okay? The reason is not the emotion is the result. The cause, the thing that actually made this ad undeniable is the insight underneath it. And that insight is what we're going to break down today. Because once you've seen it, you'll never be able to look at a beauty brand brief the same way again. What's up, everybody? Eddie Buying here. So let's get started, right? We're going to start with what Dove could have done. Look, they're a beauty brand, right? What do? They sell soap, they sell body wash, shampoos, and all that stuff. The obvious brief would have been make women feel good about using Dove products. The obvious insight would have been our products make you beautiful. And the obvious execution would have been what? Beautiful women, glowing skin, confident smiles, maybe before after stuff, right? That's what every beauty brand does. It has been doing since 2013. And admittedly, that's what Dove had been doing years prior to this Real Beauty campaign. The problem with that, though, was the insight. The insight was a lie. And on some level, every woman watching it knew it was a lie. See, the real deal is, listen, nobody looks at a shampoo ad and thinks, yes, that shampoo is why she looks like that. So the obvious insight doesn't just fail to connect, it actively breaks trust. See, Dove knew they needed to go deeper. So they asked a better question. Okay? Question, very important. Here's what Dove did that nobody else was doing. They hired a forensic sketch artist, an FBI trained guy, right? Who had spent his entire career drawing faces based off of descriptions people verbally described to him in order to help catch criminals. So they got the forensic guy, and then they brought in a group of women. One at a time, each woman sat behind a curtain. Okay, the artist couldn't see them. And then that woman described her own face to him, her jawline, her eyes, her forehead, how she saw herself. He drew exactly what she described. Then, without the woman knowing, a stranger who had just spent time with her came in and described that same woman's face to the artist. So we ended up with what? Two sketches of the same person with completely different results. Every single time, the stranger's version was more beautiful, was more open, was more alive. The woman's version was a lot harsher, more critical. Eyes are too close together, jaws too wide, face is too fat, eyebrows are whatever. And when the women saw both sketches side by side, that's when the light bulb went off. That's when 100 plus million people cried. Because the insight Dove found wasn't about beauty products at all. It was about this. You are more beautiful than you think you are. And the cruelest critic of your appearance, the one doing the most damage, isn't your worst enemy. It's not social media. It isn't even the beauty industry. It's you. That is a human truth. It's very specific, it's uncomfortable, and it's true in a way that hits before your brain can even process it. And here's what makes it genius, though, from a brand strategy perspective. Dove didn't invent this truth. It was already there, sitting in every single woman's head, right? In the gap between how she sees herself in the mirror and how she actually looks to the people who love her. Dove just named it first. Okay, let's give it a name. And the moment you name a truth that people have been carrying silently, they feel seen, they feel understood, they share it with every woman they know. That's not emotion, that's recognition. And recognition is the most powerful force in advertising. So why was the execution perfect though? Let's break it down. Okay, here's what went right. The forensic sketch device is absolutely genius. Not because it's creative, but because it's the perfect proof of the insight. You can't just tell a woman she's more beautiful than she thinks. She won't believe you. She's heard it before. It feels like flattery. But when you show her, when you put two drawings side by side and let her see the gap with her own eyes, she can't argue with it. See, the execution doesn't assert the insight, it proves it. That's the move. That's what the best advertising always does. It doesn't tell you what to think, it creates an experience that makes you think it for yourself. Also, notice what Dove doesn't do in this ad. Where are the beauty products? They didn't see them. Maybe until the very end, and even then, barely, right? There's no thing like tag at the end of like, and that's why you should use Dove body wash. No, there's no product benefit. There's no before and after. Just the truth and a tagline of you are more beautiful than you think. The product doesn't make you beautiful, the insight does. That's what the distinction most beauty brands never figure out. Okay? So here's what this means for every brief you'll ever work on. The most powerful insights aren't about what your product does. They're about your audience's relationship with themselves. Dove isn't in the soap business in this ad. They're in the self-perception business. They found a human truth that their product could stand next to, and it made the brand feel like it was on the audience's side. Not selling to them, but seeing them. That's the move. And here's the question that unlocks it on any brief. I don't care what brief it is. What does this person believe about themselves that isn't true or isn't as true as they think? Not what do they want from the product, not what does the product do for them. What do they believe about themselves? If you find that belief, find the gap between that belief and reality and build your campaign around closing that gap, you got gold. That's what Dove did. That's why over 100 million people watched it. That's why people are still talking about it. Why I'm talking about it. And that's what the Insight Foundry teaches, what I teach there, right? It's not inspiration, it's not theory, it's a step-by-step process for finding this on any brief every single time. Okay? The link's in the description. Come find us. We'll talk, right? I will see you in the next breakdown. The next one, Joe, you're going to want to subscribe. Okay, subscribe for weekly breakdowns of the best and the worst ads ever made through the lens of human insight. I love doing this. This is fun. Next up, Nike's first ever Just Do It ad. No celebrities, no budget, just an 80-year-old man and the most powerful sports brand insight in history. I will see you there.